And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of the Roundtable. For some reason, they keep asking us back, and we keep coming back regardless. John continues to lock the door and keep us out, but doggone it, we keep coming in. The man to my right, none other than Rick Upchurch. The man to his right, the man known as G-Man, former presidential candidate. Don't ask me why. Right. And look at the pretty face on the screen with us.
The Billy girl. What's up, beautiful?
What's up, y'all? Listen, I can speak. I can
hear you. And you got a southern drawl. You
Holy
go, girl.
Mackerel. Isn't that a sexy drawl?
Yeah.
That little southern.
Yes.
We all can speak like that.
Let's do the model wave for Billy. The model wave.
How you doing, Bill?
I'm doing good, Sugar. How y'all doing?
Oh, Sugar.
Yes,
That's like do,
Archie.
All right, so Billy's back with us because of the faux pas, which I have to say this to cover our butts, had nothing to do with our side. John is safe. There was some technical issues coming out of Texas. We'll just leave it at that.
It was my husband's fault.
It was a power grid.
It was a power grid.
Right.
Oh, and it was James's fault. Keeping in mind, James was in Corpus Christi, nowhere near where Billy was, but let's blame him because he stepped out of the room anyway.
Right.
Yep.
Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. As always, you can check us out and listen to us on the WWDBTV phone app. If you have an Android, WWDBTV. If you have an iPhone, WWDBTV LV must be added. That's where you can take us on the go, listen to the audio. Now, many of you are watching us on our Facebook page, and we thank you for that. Many of you could be watching on the WWDBTV YouTube channel, as well as the Facebook page. But if you miss it all, you can always catch it, of course, right here on our Facebook page. If you got Roku, download the WWDBTV channel, and guess what? Not only will you see the Roundtable, you'll see Thoughts Count Anywhere, Aaron's Hour, and all the plethora of shows that are here on WWDBTV. And if you rerun this show, you get to see Billy Ball as many times as you want to.
Billy what?
Billy Ball, that's her name.
Oh,
she co-hosted a
What you call it?
Oh, I thought he said Billy Balls. I was went. Well, wait
Billy
a second.
Ball.
Billy Ball, yeah.
Okay,
Didn't we go through this last week?
Jesus.
I could have sworn we went through this last week.
I think he had CTE. I really did.
Right, CTE, right.
And that's probably from going like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Oh, I should have had a VA.
That's right.
Yeah.
So I met real quickly. I met Billy. She was a co-host of a show with a dear mutual friend, Nate Miller, called The Basement Show with Nate Miller on the Fishbowl Network. And somehow Nate and I connected. He saw my stuff. He said, "Come on in, let's talk sports." And that's Billy was in studio. We hit it off, talking with everything. And I don't talk to Nate as much as I talk to Billy, but that's because you're better looking than Nate, though. That's all there is to it. So
There you go.
anyway, listen, folks, we have a ton of stuff to talk about, ripped from the headlines of the news. And of course, at the end of the show, we have our new favorite segment called
America Speaks.
There you go, where we get to comment on the comments that were made on stories that George is able to find online. So real quickly, gentlemen, how's your week been since we were last together a week ago already?
I've been lazy. I've been off all week. I was telling Rick earlier, I go back to the security world on Sunday. I'm going to miss. I'll see the first game, but I'm going to miss the second game.
Oh, there you go. That's the NFC game.
But it's the AFC game.
Oh, is it the nightcap is AFC?
Yeah, that's what sucks because I'm an AFC guy.
Okay.
But that's okay. We're going back to big convention at the Venetian.
Right on.
We're going to cram all those hours into 4 days, which I don't mind. I'm going to be exhausted.
Be a nice check, right?
But
all that overtime.
And then I'm off. I like to cram it.
Yeah, sure.
In the middle of it, I hate
and
it.
you'll be ready for salves on the bottom of your feet.
That's right.
Rick, how are you, sir?
Oh, everything is good. No doubt about it. Enjoying life for sure. Had some great meetings this week, man, with NFL alumni. You know, we're Pro Bowl is coming up here in that hotel. So we have some football camps that we're going to be doing for the young people here in the community as well. And then I have another gentleman, man, who's at a school. Is it Marshall School over there off of Ann? But anyway, I'm sorry, off of Craig. But anyway, he does a lot of work, man, with the young people as in football and different sports and that deal. So I got with him yesterday. He's doing a camp, so I'm going to be doing a camp with him as well. So now that I'm here, now that I can start getting out into the neighborhood and that whole deal, and people will find out who I am and what I'm doing.
Well, there's anything that we can do to help support those camps, whether it's over Pro Bowl weekend or what you're doing, even come down, we can come down, maybe do a couple of interviews, spotlight you doing that stuff, meet some, whatever it is that'll help benefit that. Just let us know, man.
Absolutely.
I want to throw the ball. I want to throw the ball, man. I want to get physical.
Well, we love working with these young people.
Yeah.
So once again, getting involved in the community is the key.
Absolutely.
And it's also a key for the show as well.
Sure.
Because now people know who you are, and now they want to listen in because they have somebody that they're familiar with.
Absolutely.
I'd
George
love
and I can get on the field and show those kids what not to do. Anyway,
kids, I can still
PlanetHarvestHealth.com. That's the website for all these products that are here in front of me. They've been a longtime sponsor of the RoundTable. Before that, they were also part of Thoughts Count Anywhere, which is the wrestling show that I do on Saturdays from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific. That's called the Cheap Plug. And of course, Billy is here to talk about, if you could not get my charades game last week, of everything that wanted to be said, that Billy was stuck there just kind of doing hearts and yeses and nos. This time we figured we'd do it right. Yeah, right. Pull yours. That's it. So, Billy, first of all, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your background, yourself, before we get into Planet Harvest Health?
Okay. Well, I was born. No, kidding. I watched the drink the other day. Anywho, I kind of got into. Okay, I've been a fan of plant health for a while. But about 15 years ago, I was bit by a brown recluse spider, and I died twice. I got the choice to go and stay from the big man. But when I came out of it, all my doctors were like, you shouldn't be here. You should have died. We don't understand what happened. And there was a lot of things that they said. Well, anyway, I started working for the Texas Rangers and really kind of got into plant-based health a little bit more, and started taking these classes where I discovered that I have something called an endocannabinoid system, which before I was bit by this spider and went into the coma and almost died twice, or I did die twice, is that my endocannabinoid system was very well lubricated and taken care of. And I started discovering that this plant-based medicine has been around forever, just suppressed, and started listening to veterans and meeting athletes who are like, we would rather be, legally healthy than legally dead, because, the good old United States of America, what's legal here isn't legal here, but there's a consensus among adults, very smart adults who should be able to make their own choices, as opposed to having to go get prescriptions, get pills, and the pill who's going to work with this side effect, and you get this side effect and it's going to work with that. We should be able to kind of take care of ourselves, but we can't do that. And I've decided that that's still what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of myself and try to take care of anyone who wants knowledge, wants products, just wants any type of help. That's what I want to do when I grow up and become a big girl.
When she grows up to be a big girl.
Yeah.
I'll reserve comments offline for that. But anyway, guys, you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I do. So when you're talking about your products, where do you get your products from? Your CBD? Do you have your own grow, or do you get it from other folks in that deal? Is that what you do now?
We are actually about to start our own grow at our farm, but up until this point, we get our fresh hemp, or we get our hemp from farms, approved farms here in the state of Texas that, of course, has the 0.3 or less percent THC, but has 15% CBD and other wonderful cannabinoids in it. Right. And one of the things that's unique about our products, we do get CBD isolate as well, because here in Texas, some people, they're just so freaked out about that little 0.3% THC, their jobs will check, or whatever. So we do have our CBD isolate, that pure CBD isolate, where we make gummies out of that for people who want that. But our products, we get the hemp from the farm. It's lab tested. We all we do is wash it. We just put some cold water onto it, kind of get some of that chlorophyll taste out of it. And then we put that fresh flower straight into tinctures for gummies, straight into butters for other baked goods, straight into our lotion mixtures. We, certain ratios. Then we strain out the plant matter. With our pain balms and lotions, we put additional CBD isolate in there for pain relief. And one of the great things about our balm is that it's all purpose. Like we live on a farm. We've used it on our animals who've had cuts or bruises. I turned 51 earlier this month, and guys like, here's zits and wrinkles, and it's what I use on my face. If I get a breakout, I'll put it on, and the next day it's it's a little bit smaller. If you get a bite, I use it on my hands. Ladies, when you get to be a certain age, you get all these weird pains, and I'll use it on body aches. And another great thing about our lotion, the hemp is natural, but it's African shea butter, coconut oil, grapeseed oil, and beeswax. So when you put it on, I remember Rick last week talking about some of the stuff in the products, and it just sits on your skin.
Right.
And it's not, and it makes you feel icky. You're like, ew, that's gross. You want something that's going to absorb through this top layer and stay on there. Like I used to live on Carmex and Burt's Bees. Like I would have no less than 5 at a time. I'm always doing my lips, and I'll put some here, try to keep moisturized. Once I started, I'll use our lotion on my lips nightly, on my one good foot if it's a little, worked out from the farm. And I wake up the next morning and I'm like buttery. It just absorbs the cannabinoids in there, help heal the skin, and the natural products we use as lotions, the lotion base, they're all natural. There's no additives or preservatives because, people used to use these products.
Right. Well, Billy, the thing about it is that most folks through the education don't understand that they have, a system in their body to accept cannabis.
The endocannabinoid system, your ECS.
And when folks realize and understand that our bodies can accept it, use it for good, then they'll get an understanding that there's nothing to be afraid of, unless you're getting something that's not good. It's not a good product. It's bad in that whole deal. But most folks don't even understand that our bodies accepts it and uses it. Because once again, when you use opioids, and once again, playing in the National Football League, what would they give us? They would give us Percocet, they would give us Darvocet, they would give us Tylenol 3 with codeine. And man, did it make you feel bad. But let me tell you, with your medication that you guys have in that whole deal, you put it in your system in that whole deal, you're going to get up even in the morning. You're going to get up and you're going to say, man, I'm ready to go. I'm frisky. I feel better.
Right. And people have to stop thinking about this plant as a drug. When I think of a drug, of course, I'm going to think of aspirin that they get from the bark of a tree. But man still had to go in and fiddle fart with it to make it do what it do. You can skip through a forest and find a beautiful hemp plant and a cannabis plant, and it's ready to go. You're not going to skip through a forest and find a Percocet or a line of cocaine or a syringe with heroin all ready for you to go. So, this stuff is natural, and we have to get people to say, hey, it's supposed to be in your body, like potassium from bananas, vitamin C, iron, all this stuff that your body is made of, you don't produce enough of. That's why we eat, is to put these nutrients into our body. And that's why we sleep, is so we can heal and recover.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly a few seconds ago. Did you say fiddle fart?
I did. That's a technical Texas term.
I just want to make sure.
I thought I heard something, but I wasn't sure.
That's a scientific technical term.
That's a scientific technical term.
George has a question that came in our chat room there, George.
Yeah, any place good for psoriasis?
Oh my gosh, yes. We've had people who've had severe eczema, psoriasis, and people whose little babies have diaper rash. We'll use this product. And, my sweet mother-in-law out on the farm, she had eczema. It was just eating her up bad. She had the steroid cream. She ran out and they're like, oh no, we can't give it to you because the steroid's going to build up. So you just suffer. So I gave her some of our lotion. In 2 days, it was gone. And the doctors called her, and she, in polite terms, she told them that she no longer needed their services. And so she doesn't use them anymore. She uses our gummies to sleep. They're getting a little older and trouble sleeping from side effects from some of the other prescriptions that they have. They took some of our gummies, and she's, it's helped her. And that's what you love to hear. I don't care what product you use, who you get it from. When you have the education and the knowledge and you find something that works, do it. Feel better. It's okay. It's okay.
George, did you have another question?
I did. I don't know if you've mentioned before, but you talk about the farm. Do you guys have your own facility? Or like lab or a factory that makes all this, the coffee and all that stuff, or?
Well, we have, since we're kind of small right now, what we make falls under the cottage laws here in Texas. But part of the farm thing that we are researching right now is looking at, because we were in the process of getting a building, and then wood and metal went up like 8 bazillion %.
Right.
Well, now it's all coming back down, and a lot of these buildings that were prefabbed or built, unfortunately, a lot of people couldn't continue to afford to pay on them. So we're looking at buildings where we can get a big facility and put it out on our land and have our own processing along with our greenhouses. Because eventually what we want to do is to be able to help veterans and people like that, possibly even athletes who are like, I can't deal with actual people anymore, and I want to go to a farm. I want to learn how to grow things. I want to learn how to make it with my own hands.
Yes.
And that is what we are working on and penciling and papering right now. But our first step this fall will be a greenhouse, and then hopefully we will be able to because once we get to a certain level of production, you can't fall under the cottage laws anymore. So we have to. We have all our business licenses.
I got to stop it there right now. We are up against our first break, so that our sponsor doesn't get mad at us.
We don't want them to get pissed off.
We don't want see those nails, girl.
No, we don't. So Billy's going to stick around with us for the entire show. She's going to be our guest commentator, like person here to also chime in with her comments. Real quickly, Billy, contact information. I know it's on the screen, but for people who are listening on the app, how can people reach out and learn more?
You can go to www.planetharvesthealth.com. You can email to info@planetharvesthealth.com. Or, you know what, for your listeners, give me a call on my cell phone, 817-202-4838. Leave me a message or text me, because the scammers are out of control. But I would love to talk to you. Like I said, even if you just want some information about your health in general, whatever I can do, that's what I'm here for.
Right on.
All right.
She gave that phone number. When I call her, it's like a 1-800 number, and I got to drop money in. I don't know why that is.
I was waiting for the 976 area code.
Exactly. All right. The roundtable, we got a lot to talk about, a lot to do. Special guest Billy Ball from Planet Harvest Health. Don't go anywhere. Why? Because it'll piss Billy off if you do, because we got so much to talk about. We'll be right back.
Piss Billy off. It'll piss.
Anxiety, depression, PTSD, ADHD, pain, inflammation, dealing with mental or physical health issues, or know someone who is? Relax, refresh, recover, revive. Natural health alternatives using hemp-derived CBD and other cannabinoids found in hemp are increasingly becoming more effective in managing various symptoms that affect your body, state of mind, and daily life. Planet Harvest Health's mission is to help those looking for natural, new, and better solutions for a healthier way of life, specializing in small batch, handcrafted alternatives, providing higher quality and a cost-effective product. Go to planetharvesthealth.com for more information and education on how we can help you.
I'm Matt.
I'm Chief.
And I'm Aaron, and together we are
Thoughts Count Anywhere.
Join us every Saturday from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific Time.
Right here on WWDBTV Network, and all the shows that are available for you to watch. And why is that?
Because the Chief says so.
Maybe once in a while, depending on the
All
guest.
right.
Hi, I guess we're back because we didn't get a countdown, but did you like that commercial for Thoughts
I
Count
did.
Anywhere?
I did. I like that.
3, 2, 1, we're back.
Obviously, it pissed Billy off because she's not in front of her camera. So why don't you just switch to the studio shot until you see her come back there, John? All right. We got a lot going on. During the break, we were just talking about the Ticketmaster thing. Why don't we start off with that one, shall we?
Yeah,
Let's kick it off. What do you got?
Once again, Ticketmaster. Everybody's upset around the country. I mean, I saw women on TV, kids on TV crying because of the Taylor Swift concert and that whole deal, and the tickets were so expensive. But when you look at just the base price on the tickets, guys, and that whole deal, it's once again, it's affordable. But then they start adding the different tax on it and that whole deal, and it takes it over the top. $12 as far as taxes are concerned, and then you got the other thing, the concert tax. You got the walk in the place tax.
Yeah, you got
all
taxi
of these
tax. You got butthole tax.
And
Everything.
so now they got Ticketmaster and a couple of other companies before Congress saying, wait a minute, you got the market cornered. So now you have no competition. So you can do whatever you want as far as prices are concerned.
So why did it take so long? All of a sudden, Taylor Swift came out a month or so ago. Whenever all this shit started, why did it take years? I mean, I've heard stuff over the years, a little bit complaining here and there, but then all of a sudden, Taylor Swift tickets 3,000, 5,000.
Was that
10,000.
Taylor Swift or was that Adele?
Taylor Swift.
Who was the $45,000 ticket?
Taylor Swift.
Was that Taylor Swift?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. They're outrageous.
4,000 was, I guess, Adele, and then Bruce Springsteen at the
Right.
same time was also 5,000,
Yeah.
6,000, 10,000, whatever
that's
it is.
why-
Right, Bruno Mars was over the top.
Ridiculous. That's why certain bands that I, first of all, like Pearl Jam, old
Mhm.
school, where they got upset. Metallica got upset with Ticketmaster over the
Right.
years and said, "No, man, we have working class fans. Not going to bust out $2 or $3 grand to come and see us, and we
Right.
don't even want them to do that."
Right.
Well, the thing about it is the only reason that they brought it up is now the public has gotten tired of it.
Well,
Correct.
Taylor Swift too, I
Yeah.
think too.
Yeah,
See how powerful she is.
as well. And it's true though, guys. You know,
Mhm.
sometimes these tickets are out of sight. The common family can even hardly go to a football game. They can't go to a concert. They're priced out of it,
A
guys.
movie's
and it's-
$150.
Yeah, and then you still have to
Popcorn.
get your popcorn. You still have to get your soda. You still have to get those candy bars in that hotel. So
It's crazy.
it's crazy in how the industry can dictate the prices.
John, can you also check out your phone text, please? I forwarded you a text that came in from a listener. It's funny. We talk about all this. When we had the Wranglers, the AAA hockey team, the ACHL or ECHL affiliated team, they disbanded maybe 5 years before the Knights came here. I own season tickets. Ask me how much it costs for a family of 4 season tickets. Go to the Orleans, okay? Take a guess. What do you think it would cost?
About $100
Yeah.
With or without
150.
food?
without food.
Yeah.
Okay. The season tickets cost was $50 for 4 of us to walk in. Those prices don't exist just to walk in. Now,
$50 a piece?
no.
Okay,
My
that's-
season tickets was $50 for
That's-
a set of 4, and we actually
That's
shared it with
great.
Ricky Cash
Yeah.
and split a package. So exactly what you're saying. Back then, 15 years ago, I could take a family of 4 to watch a hockey game for forget food for a second, $50 to walk in. Now, yeah, you get your food and everything. So, all right,
Another
$25,
Right,
let's say,
right.
for drink. You share. Still, $75. Most places are probably charging that just to park somewhere.
That's right.
Now I'm aging myself, but we were discussing this the other day about the Ticketmaster. I saw the Who, the Ozark Mountain Daredevils, and the LaBelle Sisters in 1976. I was like 15, my first concert.
Right.
$20.
Yeah.
$20,
So
man.
what? So we understand we're complaining,
Right.
But what is the cause? Is it greed?
Yes.
Is
Monopoly.
it
That's what the
monopoly?
article said. Billy's back on screen with us. Billy, we're talking about the Ticketmaster fiasco that's going on now in Congress.
Ridiculous.
And
Ridiculous.
it boils down to the monopoly of it. There really is no other Ticketmaster-like company out there.
That's right.
And I didn't know this. I learned this reading. I didn't realize they were owned by Live Nation because they merged
That-
10 years ago or
that
whatever it is.
figures.
That's right.
So now they're
Okay.
looking into making certain that the merger is what's going on is not breaking any rules or
Regulations.
parameters that are
Right.
set within the merger. So along your point, so the chief on this is Senator Amy Klobuchar,
Yeah.
the chair of the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee, and she states that throughout the history of monopolies, federal action tends to come only when public anger reaches a certain level.
Right.
That's right.
And that's what's happening right now. And that's why it's in the hands of being
And when you have
discussed in
help
Congress.
from people, entertainers like Taylor Swift and others
Yes.
that are coming out now saying, hey, wait a second, man.
Now, here's the thing. It seeks, this is the class action lawsuit, $2,500 for every violation of California's unfair competition law. Now, I don't know. I did not see how many violations there are.
Right.
So $2,500 really doesn't sound like a ton of money.
Not really.
Hey, Frankie Pizarro, thank you, buddy. Chief, yes, it's all about the money for sure. So then I read as of according to this article, 50 people have now joined the class action lawsuit.
Okay.
50 people are in there. All of them are fans.
Right.
This is not a corporate thing. All fans of Taylor Swift and everything. So the public pressure is mounting. So I would love to know how many violations they're looking at here where $2,500 per violation, unless there's like 100 violations.
It's not.
It's, $2,500 just doesn't sound like a whole lot of
It's
money
not.
for the
Not to
trouble,
them.
right? Billy, have you purchased any tickets lately on Ticketmaster or searched for ticket prices?
Hell no, because I don't like crowds and people, and I've seen what I want to see. I remember back in the day camping out, going to the Sears or whatever for White Snake tickets, Public Enemy tickets, Spice Girls tickets for my daughter. And our society has grown so accustomed to, I need it now. Yep. I want my tickets. Listen, they went on sale at 10. I need them at 10 o'clock and 2 seconds. And I need those things right now. And of course, it's going to be a problem when you have everyone in the whole world trying to get Taylor Swift tickets. And there's only so many Taylor Swift tickets, because that's the only way you can do it. You grab your ankles, you bend over, and you let them do what they do. And you either get it or you don't.
I would have to do that to listen to Taylor Swift.
Billy, are you from Western Texas, Eastern Texas, Southern Texas, or Northern Texas?
Texas, Texas. I was born in Dallas and raised in Kaufman, which is a teeny tiny podunk town. It's eastish Texas, kind of.
Oh, okay. Well, let me tell you this. I have a very good friend. Her name is Belita Nelson, and she's from Lubbock, Texas. And you sound just like her, girl.
As he described that, he started sounding like he was from Texas. How would Bronco fans feel about that? They just sounded like someone from Texas.
I love the twang, girl.
Right.
It's just crazy what's going on. And by the way, the people in this class action lawsuit are from people all over the country. This is not just like a segment of people in Texas or California or New York where they're buying tickets. 13 states are being represented right now by people in this class action lawsuit.
Even if I was beyond wealthy and John Bonham came back from the dead with drummer of Led Zeppelin, who's my favorite band ever, I still wouldn't pay that kind of money to go.
If he was playing dead, though, would you spend the money to see him play dead?
If he was able to play dead?
Play drum, do the
while
drums
he's
while
dead.
Yes.
You mean for the dead?
For the
No, while dead, from beyond to play drums.
Maybe.
Oh Lord,
maybe.
Well, but the thing about it, guys, look, families now have been priced out of being able to
anything.
go out and have a good time, man. That's the problem now. Yeah. You can't take your children, you can't take your family, and then by the time you come home, you're broke. You got it, man. You're like, man, I got to re-up because I just spent $1,000, $1,200 just to go to a concert.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's, you know what? When you're happy, you go to Sam's Club or Costco, and you pay under $7 for 18 eggs, and you're happy with that because they're on sale,
right?
Instead of the $1.49 dozen that Albertsons would used to. Now you buy a case of water, you get 2 for $9 when they used to be on sale for 4 cases for $5.
Depends on how many.
But here's the reason why, gang. Remember, we just came out of COVID, right? And then during COVID, you had essential, right? But then you didn't have essential.
Correct.
A lot of these companies, man, are trying to make up now for the money that they lost during COVID.
I also understand with the eggs has something to do with the chickens that died in China or something.
Well, yeah, that was making some
birds.
All of a sudden, bird flu came up in the last couple of months.
Whatever.
First it was toilet. First it was toilet paper. Couldn't wipe your ass. Now we don't have any eggs.
So then
milk is being priced.
Paper. If you don't have any eggs, you don't need toilet paper.
The basics: bread, milk, eggs. It's being priced out, man.
Remember when we used to throw that stuff at people? Eggs and toilet paper. There was so much.
Oh no!
Not now.
I bought an 18-pack of eggs the other day, and I put a seatbelt on them. I said, "Fuck that! I don't want my eggs go." Holy shit!
I had one of my chickens lay an egg on the outside of the hen house, and I was like, "That's like $3.50 worth of product right there. I need to be able to keep that in this house over here."
John has a comment. Go ahead, John.
I just saw today a news article about the richest man in the world. Has a Taylor Swift ticket and 18 eggs.
Wow, what a lucky guy he is. So what are folks going to do for Easter? Easter's getting ready to come around here in just a few minutes and that whole deal. I know these chickens, boy, they got to get to work. Hey, I want to ask you a question, Billy. Do you have anything to stimulate the chickens so they can make more eggs quicker?
I don't know, but if
will CBD do any of that?
Did you know?
Hell, if CBD does that, I want it for me. I ain't worried about no chickens at that point.
Just asking, sis.
I saw a couple on TV. They're renting out chickens. They have a business now that they're renting out chickens.
Oh, I believe it.
so you can have your own eggs.
But once again, I honestly believe, I still believe it's about making up for the stockholders.
Yep.
You know, the stockholders are sitting back saying, hey, gang, we're back online now. You guys got to make up the difference, man, for my investment that I put into this and that whole deal. So you better do something. Otherwise, we're going to get rid of you, just like they do football coaches, right? They get rid of them and they bring in somebody different.
Yeah, and they get recycled like Nathaniel Hackett, who's now the OC of
Right,
the Jets.
Jets.
But anyway.
Yeah.
And they're going to go after Carr. Just
Merry
throw that
Christmas.
out. Just to
They
throw
can
that
go
out.
after him, but that doesn't mean they'll catch him because
Right.
they can't catch a pass.
Yeah.
Anyway, see what I did there? But okay.
I like it.
So, sorry, couldn't resist.
I love it.
All right, let's stick with one more national headline because you have something that's local.
Yeah.
And I have another national headline, and then I want to make sure it's plenty of time for America Speaks.
Yes.
Because I'm looking forward to that. So first and foremost, on behalf of all of us here at the Roundtable, Billy down at Planet Harvest Health, WWDBTV, let's first of all send our condolences to everybody out in California who lost family members because of those two shootings over the last week or so.
It never stops.
18 dead in 3 days. And then while they were doing a news conference for one of them, news broke that there was another shooting in Yakima, Washington that started taking headlines. So yet another one.
I can't keep up with them.
It's never have
can't.
we ever seen this, right?
Well, the thing about it is that you can pinpoint exactly what's going on. This is in a Chinese environment. This is in a Chinese neighborhood.
Oh, the one in Monterey.
Both of them.
And then down in Atlanta, what happened?
Right.
They were targeted as well. Right now in this country, man, you have people that are targeting other folks, man, simply because they don't like them and they don't want them here. It doesn't even matter if they look alike.
Right.
That doesn't matter. Just like the kid that just got killed down in Memphis, man, by 5 black police officers in that whole deal.
Yeah,
So it
that's
doesn't
another
matter.
thing.
So it doesn't matter what you look like. We have an issue here in America with guns. That's my opinion. There's too many of them. I mean, when you have more guns in the household than you do people.
There's more guns in America than there are citizens.
Yeah, and I'm
Over
not about
300 million guns.
Yeah, and I'm not against guns. My
Me
grandfather had them, I have them, and that whole deal. But are we responsible when a 6-year-old can go to school and shoot a teacher and that whole deal? How does a child get a gun? You know how they get a gun, because the parents aren't responsible. And when the responsibility, man, doesn't come into play in that whole deal, we got a big time issue.
Now, I want to bring this up real quick. You guys might have this. When I first heard about the shooting in Atlanta and they had 5 cops, I was thinking, oh my God. First of all, cops, and then thinking, oh my God, are they white? Because I hate to say that, but race comes into it on either side. I was thinking, God, is there going to be one white cop and the whole world's going to even go more crazy? And when I saw that it was all African-American police officers, it wasn't really relieved, but I was kind of like, well, they can't put race into this one.
No, not at all.
Not in this one.
And race should never be put in.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't. But when you look at the environment and how it was done, then sometimes you have to look at it that way.
Right.
For
Absolutely. The shooting, again, some other commonalities. You had both gunmen were of Asian descent. One was 67, one was 72.
Didn't the one kill himself or get caught?
One of them, yes, one of them did. The other one drove himself to the front of the police station, and a police officer who happened to have been walking in and out recognized the car from a bolo.
Right.
And he just peacefully went in. But if I recall, and Billy, you might remember this, I want to get your comments on this. When COVID first started, China, the Asian countries were really the first ones where COVID started.
Correct.
And then when it came over to the United States, everybody blamed those of Asian descent for bringing it. And were they not targeted at that time improperly because of that, right, Billy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So is that really carry over from this? Because one of the guys reading their story, they also worked at one of the farms, and he had issues at his place of employment too.
Oh,
But also, are we having an issue that, hey, you're Korean and I don't like Chinese because of what's going on over there? Are you Taiwanese?
Even
in that whole deal?
Yeah, Filipino,
Against
yeah,
China?
whatever.
You Filipino.
Yeah.
Are we having race wars within the races in that whole deal as well? Because we don't like you. We don't like your ethnic background. You know what I'm saying, guys? That's what I believe is going on.
So the gunman at the Half Moon Bay, that was the second shooting. His name, he was 67 years old, Chun Li Zhao. Okay, so here's what they found. So here's a guy that pulled up to the police station.
Okay. Could give
So,
himself up.
a deputy recognized his car from a description issued earlier, and he was arrested at gunpoint in the parking lot. Police said they found a legally purchased semi-automatic handgun legally, because a lot of these mass shootings, if memory serves,
Is that the one that was used?
well, I
They
don't
don't
know.
know. Okay.
It probably because
Right.
shooting
They found
8
it,
people
yeah.
probably was. But a lot of these mass shootings, kids have gotten guns illegally.
Right. Well, at least it was
3D
legal.
printers are creating guns illegally. Here the guy owned his gun legally. Okay. And the other guy, he actually had been arrested back in the 1990s for illegal possession of a firearm. And yet here he is. He got another gun and did the shooting at Monterey.
Did they do a good background check? Did
Obviously
they do
not.
a background check on him to find out if he was a violent person, domestic violence, or any of those type of things? I think, man, we have to have stricter gun laws.
Did they
So
say
you
what triggered him to do that?
No, they haven't said yet.
Well, one of them they think was a workplace incident. That was the
Right.
guy at the Half Moon place, because they have mushroom farms and other ranching stuff there.
Mushrooms?
That's right. Yeah, you don't get
Hello.
Billy, you don't get your stuff from down
Daddy
there.
G.
No, I hope not. So Chief does confirm, thank you, Chief, that they did use a semi-automatic. So the gun that they found was probably the weapon, but it was legally purchased. So again,
Well, at least it was legal.
well, no, but what I'm saying is, but a lot of the mass shootings are not.
But
Of
it
course,
also,
they're not.
but it also had an extended cartridge on it, that whole deal.
Right.
So they
But that's against
modified
the
it. So
law.
they
Yes.
modified it. So that's against the law.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. That I agree with. Just, you know what? There's such an interesting debate about gun laws, background checks. Who can have it? The 6-year-old. How did they get the?
That's still mind-boggling.
That's still one part of the story that I haven't seen anything about. How did the 6-year-old get their hand on the weapon that was legally owned by the mother?
Yeah, I haven't heard any about
So
that.
I haven't seen that. Now, do you guys watch On Patrol Live at all? On the Real Show with Dan Abram, he did
I know
Billy,
of
think
it,
you know
but
where
I
I'm
haven't.
going.
I know of it, but I haven't.
Friday nights and Saturday nights, it's live. They actually follow, like, I don't know, 50 different police precincts around the country.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Okay. I
all
got
right,
you.
so
Yeah.
Dan Abrams did this sort of show. It's
Right.
like a Cops.
Right.
from
Right,
back in the
similar.
day.
I got
Right.
you.
Only this was live. The Cops was always recorded. So, and I watched the episode where this happened about 2 weeks ago. So police were, and I don't remember what city, but police were called to an apartment complex where they went to, it was like a domestic dispute. The mother, father, the wife already left. They went into the place that they were dealing with the father. Now, a neighbor across the hallway peeked through their little peephole. You know what they found? Saw a toddler. What age is a toddler? 2, 3 years old,
2 or 3
maybe?
years,
Yeah, or younger.
With a diaper.
Yeah.
Right.
Guess what he had in his hand?
A
gun.
A handgun.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He was
Now,
on the porch?
Yes.
He was outside.
yes,
yeah,
he was
yeah.
outside in
He
that
was
common
like,
area.
go,
Right, and at
Yeah.
one of the points, though, he actually had the gun up towards his own head
That's
by
right.
because the gun was heavy, and all of a sudden it's here.
That's
Oh,
right.
That now made national news because I saw it on a recent
Yes, sir.
TV.
So
thing.
little baby was able to lift it up enough.
So now, once again, are we going to hold people responsible for that? Once again, if
Should
I
be.
have a teenage kid, right,
Mhm.
and they go out and they crash the car and that whole deal, right, and they're not legal to drive, who's responsible?
The parents.
The parent. We have to start holding people accountable.
Right.
We let them slide too much.
Right.
And when I say accountable, it's got to be harsh. Because once again, if you tap me on the hand or give me time out in the corner,
That's
and
not
I'm a
gonna
kid,
stop you from doing
that's
it
not
again.
going to stop me from
Right.
doing it again, because the parents are going to say, the kid is going to say, oh, they're not going to do anything to me.
On a lighter note, Billy, can you see that question on your screen from Chief?
I can see it. I go shooting on the property and I go to gun ranges, but I can't even eat deer meat because if it's talked in a Disney movie, I can't eat it.
So you cried when Bambi ended, is
Right.
what you're saying, huh?
Bambi.
Like,
Just for the
Bambi. I don't eat skunk. I don't eat rat. No, I'm very, very, very respectful and careful, and don't.
People eat skunk.
I
I
do
heard
not.
the real
No.
stinks.
But I'm
Anyway.
half Cajun, and that half my
Yeah,
family.
well.
They will eat absolutely anything. If they ran over it or shot it or caught it out of a tree, they'll eat it. So,
So
but
for
yeah,
those listening, for those listening on the app that couldn't see the question, Chief in the chat room asked Billy if she hunts on her farm, and that's what she is responding to. So I apologize for stating the question. I usually read the questions, but
sorry about
all right. So,
But you know, the
listen,
6-year-old, real quick, the 6-year-old,
Yes.
did y'all hear what came out today? Like,
Whoa.
there was at least 4 administrators, 4 different,
Oh,
there was
we're
a
talking about the school
student
one.
at the, there was a student, there were a couple of teachers, there were people who went to the administration and was like, this kid has a gun.
Yep.
And no one did anything about it. I mean, the whole system failed this kid. I mean, our education system sucks. Our gun laws suck. You know, the hospital, you know, it's just all a disaster. And this is what these kids are growing up to. They do what they see. This kid has seen this, and it's horrible that he knew how to do this.
Well, and I actually reshared that story, and I was referring to the 6-year-old on patrol, but you're right. I'm glad you brought that one up because they knew, like you said. And why did it take 3 weeks-ish to come out now for it to be found that the administrators in Virginia in this school district knew that the kid had a gun, not once, not twice, but 4 times within what, an hour, maybe, Billy? I don't remember what the timetable was at the school. Okay.
Because it would require them to take responsibility, which they didn't want to do, just like down in Uvalde. No one wants to take responsibility and be like, you know what? We fudged up. We fudged the pooch really big, and we are sorry. No one can do that anymore. No one can do that.
God, Rick.
Well, some folks, they said when he went to school, the kids said, hey, this young man, this kid right here has a gun. They went and they checked him, right? They checked his bag. It wasn't in his bag, so they let him go. And then what he did was recess. He goes outside because he leaves it outside, and then he brings it back in.
Off the school perimeter?
Off the school perimeter.
That's smart.
And he
I mean,
brings
that's
it back
very
in
smart.
because when they checked his bag, it wasn't in there. So when he goes to recess in that deal, he gets the gun, brings it back in.
Well,
he did get checked.
Well, Billy makes a great point there. How would a 6-year-old contrive? I'm going to sneak this to school, but I can't take it in. Wait a minute. Let me leave it outside. I know when I can get it. Let me get, keep 6-year-old.
Planned
At 6-year-old, I couldn't tie my shoes and I was worried about Bugs Bunny on a Saturday.
That's it.
How does a 6-year-old figure that stuff out?
Well, remember, we have games now.
Yes.
We have all these games that
TV
these
shows.
kids have.
Yep.
You have shows with kids, shooting and blood going all over the place in that ordeal. And these kids gravitate to it. But also the parents have to be responsible in what he's watching.
Yes.
Where does the responsibility come for us, the parent?
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to raise our children up and make sure that they're safe and they're getting the right teachings, gang. I'm just sorry. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I think when it came to insurance companies, when kids are or somebody leaves a home from a party, whoever is hosting that party, and somebody leaves the house drunk, tipsy or whatever, and they get into an accident, years ago, they said that the homeowner could be held responsible.
Right.
So that was a step of holding somebody responsible, right? So we'll see how this goes. I'm curious to see because you can't arrest a 6-year-old, right?
No.
I mean,
Right.
if you don't have like in school, you have pre-K. You don't have pre-juvenile.
Yeah, you can't even do that.
Right? You don't have
Right.
pre-juvenile, so it'd be interesting to see. The only choice they would have would be to hold the parents accountable and go from there. All right, John, I want to step aside a little early for our break because we have a couple of Vegas headlines we want to talk about. Then we want to get to America Speaks, so I want to make sure we have enough time for everything. So with that, Billy, hang tight. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the RoundTable. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
All right, where does Billy go all the time on break? I mean, Billy, we don't take like a half.
People go on a break.
Yeah, but we don't have enough time to do that. Oh my goodness, Billy. All right, drop her off until she comes back, unless she's got some money back there that we can find in the picture. No, I really can't. All right, here's some more stuff. Let's talk about a couple of the local headlines that you have there, Rick.
Wow. Shortage of nurses here in Las Vegas, gang. Bad news, man. Now, when you go to the doctor, to the hospital and that deal, you might be sitting in that doctor's office or in that hospital waiting room, man, for hours because we're about 5,000 nurses short.
Mm-hmm.
And
How
so
can
now
it be
all of these folks,
5,000.
because once again, remember, they didn't have a school here for nursing. They didn't have a school here for teaching doctors and that whole deal. Now they're building one on campus there at the UNLV.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, they're building that, and where they can get some schooling and that whole deal, and have the nurses and stuff here now. But before, you didn't have it. So if you don't have it, it's not a concern to you. What do? Well, you float everybody around,
and
that
adds pressure.
That adds pressure.
Like during the shutdown, the teachers, when we had the online teaching, then we went back to school. Many teachers retired. They didn't want to deal with that anymore.
That's right.
And so that was the residual effect on the downside, adding to the teacher shortage. And I believe with this, what you're talking about is kind of the same thing, because all the medical staff during the pandemic and during the COVID and everything, working how many hours overtime and doing what they were doing. And like you said, multiple shifts. And then I'm sure there's a requirement that says, doctors and nurses can't work so many hours without so many hours of rest.
That's
I
right.
wouldn't want a doctor who's been up for 48 hours
Or
doing
pilot.
surgery on me,
Right.
or pilot. So I'm sure a lot of that has to do with people either leaving to go to another state because they're tired of the Vegas bureaucracy of the medical stuff, or people say, you know what? In the year and a half we were shut down, felt like 10 years of work for me. I'm done.
Right.
And they walk away. I think that's part of it.
And not only that, they were abused by people. During COVID, they had to sit in there for hours, 20, 30, 40 hours, man, trying to get people right, trying to help people in that whole deal. And then all of a sudden, you have a patient that dies. That's PTSD on these folks. And so then once they get a chance to go home, how do you think they are with their own family and their own children after coming off that stressful time?
They get patients that spit at them or yell at them, or
even the family members,
shit at them.
Family members that come in and say things to them in that whole deal, and it's almost like they're not appreciated.
Last school year, not this one, but the school year right after the pandemic when it started, my wife, God bless her, she's been in education for 35, 36 years, and she loves it. I would swear that the day that I would want to retire, I would have to be pulling her out by her hair because she would never want to leave the classroom at the school. Let me tell you something. My wife that year, I had never, and I mean never, you never say never, I'm saying never. My wife came home so down, so frustrated. I'll never forget, it was the weekend before Labor Day weekend. It was Labor Day weekend.
Right.
She took the Friday off on Labor Day weekend, which she would have never done, because she had enough within the first 2.5 weeks of parents complaining about coming back. I want to have my kids here. I want to have my kids here. Masks, no masks. My wife came home now and said, you know what? I'm taking an extra day. She was frazzled. And I had never, ever seen my wife that way. And now I was an assistant principal for 10 years at least. She's dealing with some political stuff normally anyway.
I'm sure.
Now add that, I'd never seen. So the pressure of society today is at a level that if I was a parent just getting married like I was 34 years ago discussing becoming a parent, I don't know if I'd want to bring kids into this world right now. And I know I said the same thing 30 years ago. Right, Billy? Go ahead.
Yeah, like when me and JR got married 10 years ago, even back then, our families were like, oh, and I'm like, no. Nope.
Goldfish, they're a lot safer.
Y'all have some more kids and let them grow up, because this is not going to happen.
I have 3 dogs. That's it.
And I got one other thing that I want to speak on as well. Okay, guys, if it's all right.
Of course.
Look, I have a big problem with our educational system. I really do. But the one that I really have a problem is with the Florida system down there. Ron DeSantis is now bringing forward that African American studies can't be taught in the school systems.
I think there might be. I don't think that's what they were doing down there. I think he said they do talk about Black history and in studies, and it's part of the curriculum in the state of Florida. I think that extra class they were talking about, they were venturing into Black queerness, and they actually said this on TV, talking about certain subjects that don't need to be taught, that
like LGBTQ,
that kind of stuff.
Right?
They're going to learn that on their own anyway. Try to keep that. Black history, it's part of Black history. We get it. So a lot of that stuff isn't. There's a lot of other stuff that's part of history that we don't teach. They're not taking Black history out of the school system. They're
Just segments of it, maybe?
segments of that
I hadn't heard anything, so
particular
I-
issue. I saw that last night,
Okay.
and they Ron DeSantis said it wasn't eliminating teaching black history in the Florida schools.
Well, they're taking the book first. They're taking the books off the counters. Who's to determine whether this is good and this is bad?
Mm-hmm.
Who's determining that? He is. Is he sitting down with the parents? Is he sitting down with the families? Is he sitting down with everyone and getting a total view of how they feel as well? That's what I want to know. Because if I'm a parent, I want to know why this is not being taught.
Is it the school systems themselves?
Well, I
the
was going
people
to say
that
that
are
somebody
ahead?
talked to the superintendent.
Yeah.
Because the superintendent reports to the state government.
Exactly.
So I'm sure no one's really asking anybody anything. Like the left hand's not talking to the right
Absolutely.
hand, because it rarely ever does on any topic.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, you know what? To eliminate Africa, I don't care what it is. Queer, once again, you can limit all that. But if you're eliminating African American, history, man, out of American history, then you're losing a whole bunch of it.
I don't think that's what they're doing, but I understand
As far
that.
as
too.
I'm
If they
concerned-
were, I would not be happy about
As far
any
as
of
I'm
that.
concerned, they could take the Holocaust situation out of history. Nobody needs to know what one leader did to 6 million people. No different than the other situations in history where people were brought together and killed in mass.
So you just pick and choose then. Then nobody will ever know about all the statues being torn down 50 years from now or 100 years from now.
I can't recall when I was in high school, they never taught anything above the World War, and then they had to sing about the Holocaust, but they never went into what was it about, who was killed, what did they do.
Right.
It was never taught in a way of teaching it in such structure to
Right.
fully
That I agree
understand what
with
it
too.
is.
I think it
So,
was just in general.
I think there's a lot of part of history
World
that they
War
brush
II.
over.
Right.
I-
Well, the thing
But you
about it
can't
is,
teach everything.
yeah. Well, the thing about it, the reason that you want to go over that stuff is for what reason? So that it never happens
Right.
again.
You would
Acknowledge,
and you would
acknowledge
hope-
the time period and hope that that doesn't happen.
And also, the young people need to know as well. They need to know who America is.
Mhm.
America has its flaws. America has its ups and downs. So why wouldn't we let them know what the ups and downs are as far as America's concerned, so that they can even make it better?
It's funny you mention that, because there's a segment on a show that I watch, and at the end they go out into the streets and ask college kids certain questions that you would, that you think you would
Not
have
about
learned in
beer
grade
pong,
school.
Billy. Not about beer pong.
Well, it's funny.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing because they'll ask some hot-looking girl in a bikini who the second president of the United
right.
States was, or the first, and Michael Jackson, or whatever they say. Where'd you go to school? University of Tennessee. Now you've got the school.
Oh, Chief's going to be after you
embarrassing.
now. Chief's going to be after
Embarrassing
you.
now you're embarrassing yourself because you have a 4-year degree from a major university, and you don't even know who the first president was or who the current vice president is. Stupid shit like that we all, even a dumbass homeless person knows a lot of stuff
Although
like
I
that.
will say that the way reality TV is presented today, don't put it past those producers to fluff it up.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So
Pick and choose.
pick
Yeah,
and
they
choose,
pick
But there's
or
some
they- or they
people
go
that
up
they'll
to the-
have that answer, and they'll even go, "Oh wow, the kid knew."
Well, or they'll say to the gal in that particular case, look, you probably know the answer. Who's the first president? George Washington. Good. We want you to say Michael Jackson for the purpose of the show. That's what I mean.
Wow, I don't know about that.
Well,
It's
do you
possible.
think certain things on Survivor are 100% real?
No.
Not at all.
No.
Do you
I'm
think-
just talking about in general,
No,
going
I
out and
understand.
interviewing people, and
But guess what it's doing? You're talking about it.
Right,
If
right.
that girl had gone on and answered
Absolutely.
the question correctly, we wouldn't even know that the thing happened.
Right.
I guarantee.
well, they have some people that answer correctly.
Oh,
and you're
sure,
going,
sure.
wow, okay.
Now, of course, Chief, who's a graduate of University of
Oh,
Tennessee.
that was total.
Tennessee,
That was total. Just
you picked that out
tap
of
and
the sky.
chance. Yeah.
By the way, Chief does say a taxpayer should be able to chime in on school curriculum. period.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chief.
Absolutely. All right. You have one more local topic before we go to our speaker.
Oh
about-
yeah, Georgie got it.
Actually,
Georgie
all right,
got it.
Rick-
Rick gave me something to do. Okay. This is, and
You're gonna
again,
have
Rick's.
something to do on Saturday.
I
so
know,
don't,
yeah.
don't,
Oh, that's
you know,
right.
so
Don't go.
I'll handle that at the end of the
You
show.
better bring your lunch pail.
I'm
too.
going like a working man. I guess Area 15 in Las Vegas is a big, huge place where they got all kinds of crazy stuff you can do, and they're expanding it.
Mhm.
What they're doing is Universal's coming in with this big year-round horror fest, Universal Park. It's going to be Halloween every day in Las Vegas.
You mean it's not already?
Right. Well, yeah, normally.
It's gonna be intense.
Right. Well, what they're doing is they purchased some land right next to Area 15. I guess they're going to be a part of the expansion for them. They're forcing out smaller businesses.
Right.
And one of them happens to be a nonprofit organization that helps about 140 adults learn life skills and training so they can go out
Kind of
and
like
get
an
work.
opportunity village. here in
Right,
Texas.
and get something out there so you can be productive in your life, and they try to do that stuff for them. Well, I guess they're being pushed out by the whoever the company that's coming in,
Fisher Brothers.
the Fisher Brothers that are coming in there to expand Area 15 and buy all this land. I'm thinking you would think they would purchase all this land from folks, but I guess they're pushing these guys out and they don't know where they're going to relocate. And I guess they were promised 10, 15, 20 grand to relocate, and they haven't heard yet.
That's right.
They heard this, what you said, it was October it came out, and then they only heard in November that they had to leave by February, which is coming up, and they still haven't heard about the money to help them move.
But the nonprofit, do they own the land, or are they just renting space on the land?
I don't think it says anything like
I
that
believe
at all.
they're renting
Yeah,
space there.
it's a lease agreement. Yeah, it's a lease.
So in a way, they have no say in the matter.
Right.
That's the thing.
No.
So,
Pretty much.
Unfortunately, it catches a nonprofit in the crosshairs.
Yes.
And that's a shame. And hopefully, whatever money they've pledged to help with will come in soon, because they
Like
need
Rick
the time.
mentioned, if we can get the word out
Sure. Oh,
on
absolutely.
our platform,
What
and
is
maybe
the
other
name
people
of the
will complain enough.
nonprofit that is moving progressive something? I saw. Is that what it is?
It's called Progressive Choices,
Okay.
a nonprofit that helps over 140 adults with intellectual disabilities.
So look it up online, Progressive Choices. If there's anything that we can do to support them and get the word out that they need a new location, please do so.
Absolutely.
Also, while I'm at it, Firefighter Memorial Transport.org, Frank Pizarro, he also is still looking for space. He's looking for donations to help purchase a vehicle. He's trying to raise about $150,000 to get a new vehicle to support more fallen brothers. Go to Firefighters Memorial Transport.org for more information. All right, by the way, before I read it online, Chief Does says, and I quote, "You butthead, I graduated from Tennessee." So
It was pure
take it
happen
up with
chance.
George.
It
All right.
just kind of.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Hey, boys. I
Yes.
want to ask you a
The
question.
boys.
Are you going to go into nursing?
No, I'm too old.
Okay. I was just wondering, George. You
No,
going
it depends.
Nursing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never.
Yeah, I wanna
my
see
mom
him.
was a doctor, but
I
I
don't
mean,
wanna see him in a
I don't-
nurse's
yeah.
outfit.
Oh, okay. Well,
All right, why they're
traditional-
just
Traditional.
random.
How about
just
you?
random.
How about you?
Oh, heck no.
Nurse
Not
up
me.
church?
Now, I nurse my mother-in-law at home, so
Oh, that's
I'm a nurse.
So you're doing
What
right.
about a traditional
All right.
nurse's outfit?
We have one more segment to do. We got to get some of this in because we keep promising it. So here it is. Take it away, John. Let's run the promo.
America speaks.
America Speaks. Wow.
I can't wait.
My own little segment.
Let's
I
hear it.
feel
Love
like,
it.
what was his name on 60 Minutes?
Andy Rooney.
I feel like Andy.
Wonder.
Go.
You guys are going to to love this one.
All right.
Go, George.
Let's go.
Just
Go,
the other
George.
day,
Go, Georgie.
you
Go,
know, Pamela Anderson's
Oh,
writing a book. She's writing a book.
Yes.
So I don't know, for the sake of the book or whatever, now she's starting to come out with stuff that happened to her during her career. The first one was Tim Allen when she was on Home Improvement. She said on set one day they were backstage. I guess this, again, she's writing a book. She was new to the show, and Tim Allen came out with out of his dressing room with his robe on, and it was half on, half not. So little Tim was hanging out.
Little two-man.
Little Tim was hanging out.
Little wrenchy.
And he was just kind of going, "Hey, what's going on, Pamela? How are you? Welcome to
And
the
supposedly did that on the first day, right?
well,
when
yeah.
she started?
Welcome to the set of Tool Time." I'm thinking, holy shit. So I'm just gonna read some comments. I don't know. What do you guys think? First of all,
Well, first of all, the one who played his wife, I can't think of her name. It escapes me at this moment.
Patricia something.
Yes, there was a video picture that came up with on set. He was in a robe. You see the picture behind him where he's open, and she's saying that he was not flashing her, on the set there, that he was dressed. He was in a kilt. It was the episode where he was in a kilt. I remember that. And so she was refuting Pamela's thing here with saying, no, Tim would never do that. etc. But go ahead.
So you fucking just ruined everything.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. Okay.
I'm the
Forget
voice.
Tim
I'm
Allen.
the Hall of Famer.
Right.
I have the
That's
right to do
right.
that.
You can do that. All right. All right.
Me too.
Give me some.
Well,
All right. All right.
me too.
Look at that shit. All right. Forget Tim Allen. How about Sly?
Well, wait a minute. What
How
were you
about
gonna say?
Sly
What-
Stallone?
No, what were you gonna say? We're waiting on you.
We're waiting on America's
okay.
comments.
Big dog.
Not your
Okay. All
comment.
right. First, it was
Does
Tim
he not
Allen.
remember how the comments work in this segment?
Right. Right. Hey, look. More voting ballots. This is from somebody guy named Hey, look, more voting ballots. First, it was Tim Allen. Now, Sylvester Stallone. Pamela is quickly burning through her last 10 minutes of fame. Maybe for her last 5 minutes of fame. So, again, that's one comment. And another one from NC News Watcher. As we said back in my day, stuff that Clorox wouldn't take off. Oh, okay.
I saw the promo pictures of Anderson on the book tour. She does not look good.
She looks horrible.
She looks
she's
horrible.
55 years. Looks just like she's
Even
been-
you look better than her.
She looks roast and put up wet.
right.
You think,
Right.
think she's been used?
Send her some Planet Harvest stuff
Yeah.
for those saggy skin.
Right.
Yeah, hook her up, my sister. Hook her up.
Well, she
man.
also said Sly Stallone offered her a Porsche and a condo to be her number one girl.
Oh, I read that too.
Oh, wow.
And she was going, well, who's number two? But it's all for attention. Apparently, she needs more of it. Here's a guy named Rupert Foulmouth. Can't help but get the impression she is making up all sorts of stuff just to sell the book. Okay. How about Side Hustle 88? Aging Pamela Anderson suffering from delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
Or grandeur.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
How about Midget 5666?
It was a short one.
Yeah, comedy at its finest, and I'm the one that's out of work. At least she is attacking men who are still alive and can defend themselves. She also presents no evidence to support her claims. So all this stuff, she's writing a book. Again, we'll never know for sure. Sly refutes it, and
Right.
now you have Tim Allen who didn't
Right.
refute it, but Patricia, his on TV
On
wife,
his side.
refuted it.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Again, Pamela, if you're married to Tommy Lee or Kid Rock for any little bit of time, you're a whack job. Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
how
not
I
a whack
look.
job. Look who she was married to, and she's worried about Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Right?
Think about that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are
I know.
you
She
kidding
did the
me?
porno tape with
Tommy
Tommy Lee, he's supposed to be like this long or something. You know, so I don't know, but it's coming from her, all this stuff.
Oh, maybe Midget knows Tom Allen, according to Chief. That's
Hey,
good.
Midget 888.
light work over here, man.
Right. Hey, we got to have some comedy on this.
That's right. Well, obviously it's not you, George. But anyway, let's go.
and I'm hosting a show Saturday. Oh my
That's
God.
the funny part. So a couple of programming notes before we say goodbye. First of all, Billy, we love you. Hang tight before I'll give you a few seconds to say goodbye. This Saturday show's upcoming Thoughts Count Anywhere. Mr. Scott Hosey will be filling in for me on TCA. I will be out of town. And believe it or not, I don't know why. I must have been on some extra CBD cream or oils. But for Aaron's Hour, George Miklos will be the guest fill-in host for me.
Oh boy. It's gonna be rowdy.
Johnny
it's gonna
Carson,
be rowdy.
Johnny Carson had Jay Leno, and I scraped the bottom of the barrel and got George Miklos. I don't know how that happens.
Aaron Phillips is out of town for business.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Aaron, you
Yeah.
might use your title as what?
As
the voice,
as the
man.
voice
Watch
and all
out,
of-
man.
oh, I ain't worried about that.
I'll be at the mouth. You can just call me the mouth.
I'll always have the voice.
Oh, the
Anyway,
voice.
I'll be the mouth.
Please tell everybody who you got scheduled to come in on Saturday.
I do have a guest. It's a fellow filmmaker, local Las Vegas filmmaker named Rick Shipley.
Serious there.
He'll be here. Yeah, I can do the serious stuff too. I can do the Serious Network and today's news. My guest will be Rick Shipley. He's a local filmmaker. We are actually working on a future project here. We're starting to throw it around a little bit, so we'll be here to hang
giving you
out.
my show, you better find a part for me in that thing.
Oh yeah, you got
Anyway.
it, man.
Me
You'll be-
too. I can be the doormat. It doesn't
That's
matter
right.
to me. I'll do
That's
it.
it. You're in.
All right, Billy, love you. Give us website, final thoughts before we say goodbye, real quickly.
Can I be Pamela in your movie?
No, we want to keep you the way you are, my sister.
Right.
You're my
Your own show.
she's right. Actually, that's your Billy. You do need to do your own show.
Yeah.
But actually, nobody knows. But Billy's my number one. Anyway, go ahead.
That's all right.
Isn't that special?
I hope James is listening.
Anywho, gentlemen, if y'all would like more information on Planet Harvest Health products, please visit us at www.planetharvesthealth.com or shoot me an email to info@planetharvesthealth.com or shoot me a text or a phone call at 817-202 4838.
You are
See,
really
I got my
good.
professional voice too, y'all.
You are really good.
I
Really are.
was going to say, we need to send an 800 number or a couple of bills for that?
Sound like Alexa.
But
Maybe.
by the way,
Alexa.
Alexa, there you go. Chief says, you know what Chief says? His famous line, what is it? The Chief said so. So even he's chiming in to follow, listen to the shows, and to watch. Thank you, Billy. We love you. Hang tight.
Chief.
Billy, you're a sweetheart. I'm looking forward to the topicals too.
I'm sending them. Sending y'all coffee. I'm gonna get y'all coffee spiced up, lubed, gummied. It's gonna be good.
What'd you say? What was the lube?
Flat tires, girl.
Did she say lube?
I have a funny
L-U-B?
feeling that the public is going to want to see Billy on the show a lot more often than us. But anyway, final thoughts there, Mr. George, so we can say goodbye because I'm getting cursed fingers from our production guy. We're over time here.
Forget the production guy. All right, guys. You know what I
I do
always
have a
say.
key. We can lock up.
Oh, that's yeah. Keep your head above water, guys. I know it's rough out there in these days and times here, but just keep your head above water. We're all going to make it.
Live life to its fullest, man. You only have one day at a time. Live it the best you can.
There you go. One final thought. Congratulations to the one and only Baseball Hall of Fame inductee this year. Mr. Scott Rowland got in with 76.3%. Nobody else got in, so we'll see what happens over the next.
He's the only
But wait a
one.
minute.
The only one.
He's the only one that got in.
Who won the games? Giants didn't. They got throttled anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, no, Billy, listen, she's a Giants fan. Let me just ask you a question.
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Did you even make the playoffs?
No, we did
That's
not.
it. That's it. You're on the defense rest.
I would like to congratulate the Cincinnati Bengals on their
Be
upcoming
kind to
Super Bowl
everybody. Why is
championship.
that? Because I need some new co-hosts next
I do
week.
believe.
Anyway, they didn't even hear me.
No,
Be
hell
kind
no.
to everybody.
We'll get
Why
our
is
own
that?
show.
We're all we have. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hopefully, we'll be back on the air if John doesn't throw us out. Love you, Billy. Thank you, everybody.